This is SMC Radio Podcast. I'm your host, Anjolique. More than a year after the Eaton fire tore through Altadena, survivors are still asking a painful question. What does recovery look like? For many families, the answer is complicated. Insurance checks arrive, but not enough. Lawsuits are underway, but rebuilding is slow. Entire neighborhoods remain empty lots and toxic debris fields where homes once stood. And now, survivors are taking their fight directly to Sacramento. Recently, about 80 Eaton fire survivors boarded buses from Southern California to the state capitol. Organized by Dina Rise Up Coalition, the group met with lawmakers and delivered a message that was both urgent and deeply personal. Help us rebuild, help us stay, and make sure this never happens again. Altadena is one of Southern California's oldest and most affluent Black communities. Generations of families built lives there, homes passed down over decades, neighborhoods rooted in memory, culture, and stability. But after the Eaton fire, many residents say the systems meant to protect them failed. Survivors say there were no evacuation alerts. Others say elderly residents were left confused during the emergency, with no coordinated plan to help evacuate seniors, disabled residents, or even livestock. Now community advocates are pushing state lawmakers not just to rebuild what was lost, but to rethink disaster response entirely. The coalition's demands include stronger protections against insurance non-renewals, more housing relief for displaced residents, environmental testing for toxic contamination, and accountability from insurance companies. They're also backing legislation known as the CARE Fund, a proposed $300 million community aid package intended to help close the massive financial gap many homeowners are facing. Because for many families, insurance payouts simply haven't matched the reality of rebuilding costs in California. Construction prices have skyrocketed, labor costs are high, materials are expensive, and some homeowners say they're afraid to begin rebuilding at all, worried they'll run out of money before their homes are finished. That fear has created a kind of paralysis across parts of Altadena. State Senator Benjamin Allen has supported rebuilding efforts aimed at preserving the character of the community, which many fear could disappear through displacement and redevelopment pressures. And Governor Gavin Newsom recently announced an additional $100 million proposal to help close rebuilding gaps for fire survivors. But for many residents waiting more than a year, progress can feel painfully slow. Another major piece of the recovery effort includes Southern California Edison. The utility company has already paid more than $100 million to settle lawsuits connected to the Eaton fire. More than 750 survivors have reportedly received compensation through the wildfire recovery program, and the payouts vary dramatically. Some renters receive compensation for displacement and property loss. Some homeowners receive tens of thousands of dollars. Others, especially those with multiple properties or significant losses, have received settlements reaching into the millions. As of April 30th, 2026, roughly 1,500 settlement offers have been extended, totaling more than $500 million overall. About 700 claims have already been paid. The compensation calculations include factors like property damage, insurance offsets, economic losses, and personal impact. Southern California Edison says settlement offers are typically delivered within 90 days after a claim is completed, and payments are made within 30 days once agreements are finalized. The company also says the process is non-binding, meaning survivors can still pursue lawsuits even after beginning claim discussions. Edison says the compensation figures were developed by third-party experts using standards from prior California wildfire litigation. The deadline to file a claim is November 30th. Still, many survivors remain skeptical. For some, no amount of money truly replaces what was lost. A home is not just wood and drywall. It's birthday parties in the backyard, neighbors who knew your grandparents. It's a place you watch your baby take their first steps. Recovery in that sense is impossible to calculate. But amid the frustration and exhaustion, there are also signs of hope. 90-year-old fire survivor Georgia Dooley recently returned to a rebuilt home in Altadena. Her house was reconstructed with help from Comstruct Development Consulting Services, whose contractor reportedly pushed to complete the project within just 14 months. For Dooley, returning home means more than personal recovery. She says she hopes to be an anchor, someone who helps pull neighbors back to the community. And maybe that's what the next chapter is really about. Not simply rebuilding structures, but rebuilding community. Rebuilding the belief that people who survive disasters won't be forgotten once the headlines fade away. More than a year later, the Eaton fire is no longer breaking news. But for thousands of Altadena residents, it's still daily life. Still paperwork, still displacement, still grief, still waiting. And the question now is whether California can learn from what happened here, not only by helping survivors recover, but by building systems that respond faster and more humanely when the next disaster comes. Because in California, unfortunately, there will be another disaster, and survivors say the time to prepare is now. For SMC Radio Podcast, I'm Anjolique. Thanks for listening.